Welcome to the Compact Mysteries podcast from compactmysteries.com, the show where we try to unravel a different bite-sized mystery each week, from baffling disappearances and strange objects to unexplained events and mysterious places. This is episode 45, The Disappearance of Lord Lucan. Richard John Bingham, the 7th Earl of Lucan, was born on the 18th of December 1934 into an Anglo-Irish aristocratic family in London, England. He inherited his title in 1964 and was known for his lavish lifestyle, his deep connection to gambling circles, and his deteriorating marriage to Veronica Duncan. By the early 1970s, Lucan faced mounting financial pressures, mounting debts, and a bitter custody dispute over their 3 children. In late 1972, the marriage effectively came to an end. Lucan moved out, tensions escalated, and his obsession with reclaiming some form of control over his family life became more visible. He was intimately involved in London's high society, with connections to notable gambling clubs, such as the Claremont Club. Yet behind the veneer of wealth and privilege lay desperation. He had lost large sums, borrowed heavily, and was seen increasingly as a man teetering on the edge. His relationship with his estranged wife was characterized by mutual distrust. Lucan hired private investigators to monitor her behavior, secretly recorded telephone conversations, and alleged she was mentally unstable in attempts to gain leverage in their custody battle. By November 1974, Lucan's reputation had deteriorated. He was widely regarded as having been unhinged, under intense stress, and capable of extreme actions. Whether those actions would lead to violence or vanishings was still to unfold. On the evening of the 7th of November 1974, the situation reached a breaking point. That night, Sandra Rivet, the nanny caring for Lucan's children, was found brutally murdered in the basement of the Lucan family home at 46 Lower Belgrave Street, London. The attack was violent, using a length of lead pipe, and the scene was bloody and chaotic. Lady Lucan, battered and injured, escaped the house and ran into a nearby pub, the Plumber's Arms, soaked in blood. She claimed that her estranged husband had attacked her and that she believed he had killed the nanny. She screamed for help and alerted patrons and police. The circumstances of the attack remain grim and ambiguous. Did Lucan truly intend to kill his nanny? Did he misidentify her? Or was someone else involved? After leaving the crime scene, Lucan reportedly drove to the house of friends in Uckfield, East Sussex, Ian and Susan Maxwell Scott. He arrived there at about 11:30 p.m. Susan Maxwell Scott allowed him in, and he later wrote 2 letters, one to his brother-in-law protesting his innocence, and another addressed more pragmatically, indicating he planned to lie doggo until the situation cooled off. The next morning, Lucan left again, never to be seen with certitude again. His car, a Ford Corsair, was later found abandoned in New Haven, East Sussex, some distance from Uckfield. In the boot was a lead pipe, heavily blood-stained, and a full bottle of vodka. That car became an enduring focal point in the investigation and the public imagination. Speculation about flights to continental Europe, ferry ports, and secret escape routes followed. On the 12th of November 1974, a warrant for Lucan's arrest was issued. At the inquest held in 1975, the jury reached a verdict naming Lucan as the murderer of Sandra Rivet. He became the first member of the House of Lords to be so named, yet he was never apprehended and indeed was never seen again. So what happened? One of the most enduring theories is that Lucan fled the country with assistance from his social circle, known as the Claremont set. Influential friends may have helped him escape to Africa, South America, or even further afield. Some believe he adopted a new identity and lived abroad for years or decades. Sightings have been reported in various countries over the years, including Australia, India, Italy, and countries across Africa. But none have ever been confirmed. In one modern claim, a man living in a Buddhist commune in suburban Brisbane, Australia, was asserted to be Lucan based on facial recognition analysis. Later investigations have discredited that identification, but the whisper of it reignited interest in the case. Another theory suggests Lucan never intended to live in exile. Instead, he committed suicide by boarding a boat and drowning himself in the English Channel or the North Sea. Some witnesses recall an unlit vessel departing Newhaven Harbour at dawn on the 8th of November, around the time Lucan left. That faint clue stirred speculation that he boarded the craft and slipped away. Some believe he may have been silenced by someone within his circle, an associate, a friend turned foe, or someone who feared exposure of their role in his financial ruin. The idea is that Lucan's disappearance was not planned by him, but orchestrated by powerful figures who wanted to eradicate a liability. Some propose that Lucan died soon after fleeing, but in remote or unrecorded circumstances, leaving a body that was never identified. Others suggest he died in Britain disguised under a different identity, or that his remains are buried somewhere remote. His death treated as a fade into oblivion rather than a dramatic finale. A more sympathetic theory is that Lucan was framed, or that he entered the house that night to confront an intruder, as he claimed in writings to his brother-in-law. He insisted he had encountered a stranger attacking his wife, intervened and became entangled in a tragic chain of events. Some believe that Rivet's murder was committed by someone else entirely, and Lucan's escape was panic rather than guilt. Decades after the disappearance, police periodically revisit the case. In 2016, a London court issued a presumption of death certificate, allowing Lucan's son George to inherit the title of 8th Earl. That did not, however, officially close the murder inquiry. The Metropolitan Police still classify the case as open. In recent years, investigators have re-examined old clues. The supposed unlit boat seen departing Newhaven has been reconsidered. The letters Lucan left behind in Uckfield have been analysed more closely. Modern forensic techniques and digital enhancements have been applied to old photographs. A recent BBC documentary series, Lucan, brought renewed public attention to the case, interviewing witnesses, retracing movements, and presenting new leads. One curious detail: 3 cards from a Cluedo board game that Lucan owned were reportedly discovered in his abandoned car's boot by police, prompting speculation they were left intentionally as a cryptic message or taunt. Yet none of this has produced a definitive result. The deeper investigators dig, the more complexity and contradiction they often find. The case of Lord Lucan captivates because it combines aristocratic privilege, violent crime, social circles, and vanishing acts, all wrapped in myth and rumour. It is the perfect modern mystery: the accusation of murder, the dramatic escape, the lack of proof, and the decades of near misses. Lucan's name has become synonymous with missing persons. His disappearance is studied in the same breath as high-profile vanishing acts. In British culture, his case is a staple of speculation, true crime documentaries, and late-night conspiracy discussions. To many, the enduring intrigue lies not just in the crime or the escape, but in what he represented: a man of power, connections, high risk, and desperation. In that twilight between guilt and innocence, he remains phantom-like. I hope you enjoyed that episode of the Compact Mysteries podcast from compactmysteries.com. If you did, why not leave us a review wherever you get your podcasts? And while you're there, don't forget to subscribe so you don't miss any future episodes. If you would like to support us more directly, please consider buying us a coffee. Head on over to compacthistories.com/mysteries coffee to see how. Also, please check out our other Compact podcasts. You will find them all at compacthistories.com. Thanks for listening, and I'll see you next time.